you talk about privacy. Privacy is the number one thing. Your black book must be like, the value of it must be eye-watering, obscene. But when you talk about kind of these sorts of people that travel the world or are expecting a certain amount of clientele, what's the difference on one thing? What's on market and off market?
Okay.
I want to talk about it a little bit. But also the collaboration between lots of these properties within the UK now, or like Whiteley's will be like with 6 Cents, and kind of got One Hyde Park, and you got Mandarin Oriental, like these kind of real brands that have ultra value, like your name, but also adding it to a building, so you know that you've got longevity there. Like you're not. Well, that investment is.
You think you know you've got longevity there.
Well, on some occasions, yeah, we'll talk.
They're doing a great job if you feel that you will.
Well, let's talk about
what you're thinking. The
So
DD building.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, were you talking
Is
about?
that something you'd ever want to do? Actually, a full apartment block, like with your backing and everything.
The DD.
I think that's the way the world is going.
Yeah.
I'll come into that in a second. You're talking about luxury branded residences.
Yes.
And I spoke on a panel about luxury branded residences. There was Four Seasons, the Kersner Group. And it was very interesting to hear their opinion. What we know for a fact is that people want to live in branded residences. They feel comforted by the service and they're prepared to pay for it. And they feel that it's going to be better than...
Trusted brand.
Yeah, a trusted brand. Yeah. And now everyone's going after it. So Jacob the jeweler has got building in Dubai. There's a Bugatti building in Dubai. There's a Mercedes building in Miami. Right, there's Porsche buildings, and everyone's creating value out of these brands. It's going to keep going. We're going to see which brands succeed in longevity.
I was going to say, because if everybody's doing it, surely...
Well, not everyone's going to be successful all the time. That's just not how the world works.
There's going to be a crash in some element.
There'll be a correction.
A correction, sorry.
Sometimes what happens is this. You get a property developer. The property developer wants to increase the value. They go to a brand. They say, hey, brand, do you want to be involved with this property development? The brand goes, well, how much are you going to pay us? And we'll pay you X. And the brand says, okay, great. Yeah, that's enticing enough. How do we know that you're going to build it well enough? They say, well, these are the specifications of what we're going to build to. They say, great. They bring the brand in. The brand's in there for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it becomes a branded residence for 5 years. They build,
or run by like someone like Harrods, but
whoever it may be.
It doesn't continue.
So then what happens in 5 years' time? Then what happens?
Well, that was just about to be my question. Then what happens then? How does that work?
So now it's all about service, longevity. How good is the service in that building? Because that's really what you're buying into. How good are the finishes and the specifications and the build quality? And then you break down into which apartment you want in that building. And most people say, well, I don't really care. Like, I just want it to face the right way or be on the right floor. Yeah. But that's not the attitude you should have. You should be much more scientific about what you should buy, how you should buy it. Why would you buy in that building? Is there going to be any other additional developments nearby? Is it going to block your view? Will the sun be impacted?
Yeah. You know, do you see this quite a lot now, actually? Because, you know, when they say back in the olden days, things were built better. They were built stronger. Let's say bricks were built to last longer. And then in this day and age, do you see it a lot now that actually people, I don't want to say cut corners, but you can see something that's not going to last. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, you can see build quality super easy. I can walk into a room and I'll know how much they spent on the development.
So what building in London right now has done it really well? Like you can see that they've done it good. That's going to last.
There's a building at 1 Grosvenor Square. It was built by Loader, which is an Indian developer. People are unsure about the specification and whether or not they were able to build at this high level of the market, in the super prime market, and they've done an exceptional job.
Yeah.
Exceptional job. They really have.
Going to be online looking at that later on.
Yeah.
They're the
See if you can find out any information about it.
They've got the duplex with the 2-car garage, haven't they? They go in the side.
That's another building nearby. We've got that for sale.
That's the sick one.
Yeah. James Bond, it's called 007.
Really cool.
Called 007. It's really cool.
How was it selling the most expensive property in London?
How was it?
Yeah.
It was hard.
For you?
It was hard.
Did it feel good though? Was it good?
People got this is probably not the answer you want to hear. It was probably one of the saddest days of my life.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't expect that. When you do something like that took 3 years.
Yeah.
It's more than the transaction. I felt at the time I was driving in my car. and I lost the deal, and I felt very deflated, but I felt okay about it because I was like, I have to get used to this. You have to be very durable. You know, things come and go, deals up, deals down. It's going, it's happening, it's not happening, changing their mind, buying something else. Like, you're all over the place. But I did have a moment in the car to go, what does this actually mean? I don't have a family. I don't have anyone to share this with, even if it went well. Do people really care where I work, that I'm about to achieve this? And is it going to have a meaningful impact on my life?
Yeah.
And it didn't. It didn't. Ironically, when...
It's so unique that you actually say that, because from an outside perspective...
Oh, you think it's like champagne bottles in the club, happy days.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's my experience was nothing like that. In fact, it was heartwarming because when we did do the deal, ironically, I was with my parents. Okay. I'd literally just got off the flight with my parents, and we got home and we cheers like a shot of whiskey, and I don't really drink, but my dad does, and it was nice, and my mum likes a tipple, and we had that moment, and they were very proud of their son, and it was lovely. But soon you forget about that, and your life continues. And this is one lesson that I've learned, and something that I really want to share with people that watch this, but this is for all of us. In our heads, we see success looks a certain way. And if we have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that's amazing, you know, or you have a big house, or you have a great car, or whatever it may be. And you have this moment that you hang on to, that you're leading to. And this is a goal. It's a goal, and you're chasing that goal, and you're sacrificing, you're doing it every day. And I realized that that's not the life that I want to lead. And I realized that a number of years ago. So I'm not a goal-orientated individual. I believe in something that I stumbled across. I didn't know. It's called Ikigai. Okay, it's in a Japanese way of living. And I've lived this way my whole life, ironically.
Elaborate slightly.
So I believe in incremental increases in what you do every day.
Yeah.
Incremental improvements.
Small
what you do every
and
day.
steady
Small
over a
every
long
day,
period of time.
and they compound. So I don't have a goal. I don't set goals for anyone in the business. Some people come here, they say, I think if I come here, I'm going to make £500,000 a year. And I said, why? And like, well, I think I could. I said, well, why not 1 million?
Yeah.
Why not 2 million? Or alternatively, focus on being great at what you do, failing less, doing better, and you will make whatever you are capable of making.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life.
You're not actually putting a restriction on it then. Even if you say some wild thing, that could become a restriction because you say, oh, I've reached this now, I'm satisfied.
Or alternatively, bang on the money, or alternatively, you set a goal for yourself and you don't achieve it. And in today's world, where younger people are fragile, because they've got so much coming at them, they're inevitably They're inevitably going to be more fragile, right? They're still great. They have more opportunity and they know it. So every failure feels massive when it isn't. But if you don't achieve your goal as a young person, it can kill people. They could be so devastated by not achieving this made up goal, because someone else had suggested that be a great goal, or someone else has achieved something, that you set that benchmark and you do everything to get there. If you don't get there, you're out. And for 3 months or 3 weeks, you're a leaf in the wind. No, I'm serious. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. As opposed to saying, I'm just going to be great at doing this.
Yeah. That's what you've come back. Everything you've said today is about creating value, focusing on the task at hand in the moment and giving that everything. And when you do create that, you give it the best quality, it's going to have the best chance at succeeding, whatever that is. If you're selling something, if you're selling yourself, whatever that moment is, it's just going to succeed.
Anything. I saw there was something on Instagram on my For You page or whatever you call it, and there was a guy who was streaming, and he was getting to his 5 millionth person that he was streaming to, and he was like, for years I had one person watching my streams, which
Yeah.
was my dad, one person for years. And it meant that he'd been doing something for years. And what's really tricky is that you have some people out there that are promising the world to people in a way that 1% will achieve it, or 0.0001% will achieve it. And I feel that we need to sort of restructure what success looks like and how to achieve it.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I think, because people see my success and go, wow, this is amazing. This guy's flying all over the world, buying the most expensive real estate.
I think it's happened overnight.
And they think that it's happened overnight. Meanwhile, I've been creating content for 8 years and I work harder than most people I know.
You've been working on this career since the age of 17.
And I've worked from 8 a.m. till 6 o'clock during weekdays for 15 years or 10 years and Saturdays. And I used to stress about going to play football on a Saturday afternoon to take an hour off to get to the game in time. Like, that definitely gave me grey hairs. Yeah. All these things, it took decades.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear that. Can you make success more faster now? 100% you can, because you can create content.
And there's more accessibility to everything.
Great content.
But more accessibility means more things to choose from, which means people have to make a decision, which also means people are scared to make a decision. Therefore, in the long run, people don't actually just improve in their one thing. They just get confused and it's a leaf blowing in the wind again.
Correct.
Yeah.
The quality does not hit the mark, because the only way to get perfection and quality at that highest level is to learn from your mistakes and go. As much as you can still learn a course and educate yourself, it's real world. You've got to get out there and do it.
And also learn from others.
Yeah.
Learn from other people's mistakes. Making mistakes yourself is damaging.
Yeah.
Watching other people make mistakes and learning from them is extremely valuable. But
Yeah.
if you just live in your own zone and you're not paying attention to other stuff, people go, oh yeah, like, that person's successful. I'm not interested in watching them. It makes me feel bad because their success makes me feel bad. I'm like, I want to watch that person. I want to see exactly what they're doing.
100%.
I want to know everything, the reasons why, how, what, when.
YouTube was one of the best tools for when we danced, because I was always like, okay, I can't be in China one day and LA the next day and New York the next day. But what I can do, I can sit on YouTube and be like, okay, cool. This guy's just done this really amazing thing in China. Great. This guy's done something amazing in LA. And I was always like, well, let's get in the studio. Let's go downstairs
and practice it.
And do it.
Yeah.
Why not? And then sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses, but it's the best way to adapt and move quicker, because you're being like, okay, that's a cool timing. That's cool. And that was the one thing to our success in dancing was like, well, just learn from that education coming in. Don't be the person that just likes the comment or something. I'm like, no, do it. Like, try it. And that's the best feeling ever.
100%.
You've got to have that open mind, though, in the first place, to be able to learn from other people and not be so closed off that, like you said, I know everything, this and that.
We have a bit of
a,
we have here in the UK. We have a bit of a problem with that.
Mentality.
We're very, very cynical people here in the UK.
Why do you think? Just
It's
think,
been drummed into us since we were kids.
If you see somebody in a nice car, a lot of people are like, oh, wow. Oh, they look down upon the person. It's not like, oh, that's a cool car. What do you do? Like,
how did you achieve it?
I appreciate that. Like, talk to me. Like, and most of the time, the person in the nice car is willing to talk to you. They're gonna be pretty cool guys most of the times, and they've really got an interesting story. But nobody ever wants to kind of break down that barrier.
I think we need to do a better job.
Yeah.
We, the people who have maybe achieved levels of success or have a prominent voice, we need to do a better job. You know?
Okay. Education.
On a wider picture, we're speaking so much. I've got so much value from this conversation already.
Yeah, it's been a really cool chat.
I forgot I was recording a podcast at one point then. Where do you see yourself going? I want to talk about you are building, I'm going to say it wrong. So
the DD building.
the DD build on one side, but the ADVSR
AI.
What is that? What is it? I think I understand it, but what is it? Because if it is what I understand in my head, you are really putting yourself
capturing the market
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so my view is this. Information is not really that valuable because most people have got access to the information. So our information is our pictures and floor plans.
Yeah.
Our clients want to sell the property, and if they do and they want to advertise it, we want to give it to as many people as possible for them to put it in front of their customers.
Yeah.
We know the customers are online. And we know that there are other people that have access to other groups of people, and we want them to get the information of our client's property to them.
Yeah.
Okay. So ADVSR is an abbreviation of two words, advisor and advertiser. That's the abbreviation.
Yeah.
Simple.
So essentially, this is like an affiliate platform for people to advertise real estate to all their following. And if they're successful in introducing a buyer, we will pay them for advertising, which can be very significant.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What percentage? How many people do we need to know?
Let me put it this way: if you want to get that car you wanted to get, that flashy car, you'd be able to you'd be able to do it. In most instances, there's fees available between 0.5% to 3%. On a £2 million property, 3% is £60,000.
Yeah. So I'm just doing a quick little.
It's pretty cool.
You could be very successful. So we think that if you can sell makeup online,
And this is your company. You are building and investing your time, resources, energy into this.
You're basically just given a hub for luxury, great places for everybody in the world in that industry that can afford that to be able to come to, really.
and advertise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've just
So
got that
more
hub.
people come and take the digital assets if you've got consent. And if you're part of the platform, you can take those digital assets once you've got consent, and you can put them out over your social channels or via WhatsApp to the groups of people that you've got access to. And if one of them wants to buy a piece of real estate, then you'll get paid for your access through marketing.
Simple.
Clarity is so clear, so
is
precise.
actually
And
simple.
what is really fantastic is the opportunity that you could literally be doing hundreds, thousands of deals a day, and you've just built the network.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought
You're
about it that
smiling
way.
ear to ear.
No. I'll tell you the way I looked at it is that previously, if you wanted to market a property, you put it in the window of an office and you put it in newspapers.
Yes.
Now people are online. Very few people walk into offices to buy real estate. So the amount of windows you've got is less relevant because you're here, and the attention is in the phone. So it's following you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Or listening to you guys. And therefore, with that following, you're going to have groups of people that might want to buy real estate. And so if there's an opportunity for you to sell your financial app, you also might say, because you've built trust equity with people, you also might say, by the way, this property here, picture, link to the property. This property here is a property that I would love to buy. I can't afford it right now, but someone who follows me might be able to. And therefore, click on the link. And if you like it, let's get going. It's like, that's all it is. And so what we're enabling is the seller who's happy to market the property, get many more eyeballs around the world to buy the real estate. That's all we're doing.
Is it a bit scary?
create an
for you?
account,
For,
AJ.
like,
100% you guys
I
should.
bloody well am. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
100% you should.
Like, do you kind of feel like taking it from such a boutique moment of being like, okay, I'm going to sell something so personal, to open the door to like getting even more eyeballs on it, and maybe more people having the opportunity to sell it is scarier for you or exciting? What's that feeling for you?
If we've got the client's consent to market the property, what usually happens in the US, for instance, people say, I want as many eyeballs on my property.
Yes. Yeah.
So what people will say is, oh, Daniel Daggers, because you've got 100,000 followers over multiple channels, will you come into the property and do a video? They'd be like, yeah, sure, but I'll hit 100,000 people or 200,000 people, whatever it may be. But we also have a team of people here that have 1 million followers in total, and therefore you want a whole team doing it. But we know that agents around the world have access to buyers who may want to buy your property. So we want to get your property to those people too. It's like super simple.
Let's say I come and I buy one of the properties, and there's videos and pictures and everything all over the place. I want them removed when I buy the property. Is that like an option that can be added in?
So on the link, what happens, we're talking about on and off market.
Yes. Yeah.
On market is when the property is publicly available and there is a digital footprint of the property being available. If you put your property on Rightmove, Zoopla, and on the market, people will be able to research that property in a year's time or 2 years' time, and they will know that that property has been available with this agent, and then there was a price reduction, and then this agent, and then there's a price reduction. And a lot of people don't want that. So that's why they don't go onto these public domains. Okay? There was then the next step, which would be off market, which is you give it to me, and if I meet a buyer or a client, I'll send it to them in WhatsApp or via email. And so now it's not in the public domain. It's in this sort of, under the radar market. Okay. And only the people that we want to get the property to will get it.
People that are being vetted, that have proof of funds.
All that sort of
sense,
stuff. But what happens is they take a look at that property and then they can send it to other people. Now, if I'm sending a property to somebody who I've vetted, I don't really mind them sending it to other people because in theory, they'll know other people that will spend that sum of money. So it's just network effect. Now with social media, there's 3 tiers and social media sits in the middle, and I'll explain why. And I've done a video about this that you can share if you want to. But what happens is if I post pictures online of the property on my Instagram or my LinkedIn, it is there, but you cannot Google research it.
Yeah.
So now I'm making hundreds of thousands of people aware, of that property being available. I might not put an address. I might not put a price. You're just aware that that property is available through me. And so other agents around the world, and lawyers and accountants and bank managers and influencers might go, hey, Jesse, did you see that property that he posted? You might be interested in that. They will then speak to me and then they'll get more information if I qualify them. Super simple.
Yeah.
That's how our world works now. And so there's 3 tiers to the market. You just need to make sure that whoever you appoint from an agent perspective or advisor, we call people advisors that do what we do, that they understand what we call is the route to market. You either do this, or you do this, or you do this, or you do all of them, but in a strategy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And by the way,
easy it sounds.
It sounds very easy,
Because
but figuring it
It's
out
because you've created it.
Yeah, but figuring out has been there's a lot of brain power that goes into it. You know, getting consent to do this, and all the technology behind it. But we know it works because we don't do stuff without knowing. We practice, and we learn, and so we know that it works. I mean, I've sold properties on FaceTime 12 years ago. People are starting to do it now. I'm like, no, I was doing this many, many years ago because I know it works. And so we do that. And we do other stuff. We use social channels. That's how we built the 6th most influential real estate brand in the UK in 4 years at marketing and selling homes over £5 million. Everybody else in that top 6 is at least 30 years old, if not 150 years old.
That's unbelievable. That's fantastic. That's
It's credit to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their hard work and my hard work. You know, I'm going to say it too. I work hard too.
Just before we wrap up, there's one question. We spoke about, obviously, the value, the investment within London regarding sheer supply and demand and sheer space, to be honest, to build these days. Do you make a real effort to really see the future? Okay, there's a little bit of land there. I know that looks a bit derelict. You know the handful of 5-10 developers that are maybe going to be in a position where they could purchase at that and put a valuable building there. Do you make them relationships with them developers early on, pursuing like something's going to go there in 10 years? Like, so, I want to be the guy that's controlling that.
What happens is that I haven't been in a position to do development deals that often. I'm not known as that investment guy. I'm known as the guy when you want some help buying or selling something that's very expensive, speak to me. Anywhere in the world. Almost, right? In these super hubs. If people ask me where to invest, I can give them a clue as to where I would invest my money because I can see what's happening culturally on the street with people. I'm going to places, I'm speaking to people of influence, like influencers or people in art or people in music. Where do they want to be? Often money follows those people.
The new hotspots.
All that sort of stuff. Exactly. So you're ahead of the curve. From an investment perspective, I think you're going to see fractional ownership come into play, which is where you guys might want to start thinking about getting your footing right. The days of buying real estate have become so expensive for ordinary folk to pay the stamp duty and so on and so on.
It's mental.
The entry to own real estate and get a return is very tricky. But what is happening now is we're going to see asset micro investment. So we're going to take a building, and there's going to be 10 apartments. In those 10 apartments, you dice them up, so 10 people can own 10% of one of the apartments, and it's all held on the blockchain. When that property is rented, it will kick off a return, which will be, let's say, 6-7%. It's very difficult for most people to get 6 or 7% on their money. In the bank, you're getting 1. Okay? So you can buy into it at a very reasonable cost. You can sell it at a reasonable cost, but you can get a return in the meantime. That is what will happen.
And does it excite you then from the announcement of the day? This is probably a conversation for another time, but BlackRock announcing that they're going to release a full fund on the Ethereum blockchain. So creating a fund on the blockchain. So fundamentally exactly what you would be doing here, but rather than it being the fund itself, you'd be the property itself and divide it up.
Right. So was it BlackRock you said?
BlackRock, yeah.
BlackRock have a brand. The brand says to people, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So if you invest in any of our buildings, you're going to be all right. I think that that brand will change and it will become people. I think that I will go out with my mobile phone and I'll go, hey guys, I'm buying into this building. Invest with me and click here.
Yeah.
Because I'm accountable to the people who invest with me. And I'm a person. Can't hide behind the company
100%.
name.
And it's very American in the way that's already presumed. And like in America, it's like okay, we want an apartment block. At the end of the day, the conversation is, we want your money.
Yeah.
Buy it with us.
But I'm talking about trust equity now. Do you trust Blackstone? If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Or do you trust Daniel Daggers?
Yeah.
Where it does matter.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to put my own money in this, I think this is a safe investment or a good investment. That's where I think it will get to. So I may be able to raise hundreds of millions of dollars one day from my social media accounts to say, hey guys, I want to buy this building. I know I'm going to get a 15% return. If you want to invest in me, double click now. And all of a sudden, I raise $100 million, in a secure account, full transparency on the blockchain.
Would you have like a limit of how much somebody could buy, or a small?
I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not, because everything that I've done is try to create more access, more availability, more possibility for more people. But I don't know. It's still.
It's a great idea. It's very cool.
I think it's a good idea. I know it's going that way.
Yeah.
I don't think people have thought about the advertising and marketing of it.
Yeah, that's become an afterthought rather than a...
Yeah, people don't realize, how do you speak to the customer base? If everybody is the customer around the world, because everyone's got £10 in their pocket that they can invest now, how are you going to get the message to those investors?
Well, I think the bank's an exact example. Like NatWest closing down, all fundamentally it feels like everywhere, but suddenly paying small influencers, micro influencers to be like, okay, here, like.
But who trusts the micro influencers now? Like Remy here, she's got 250,000 followers. She's a young black girl who's come from a very normal background.
Yep.
She's very articulate. She's smart. She's been an advisor now for 3 years. She's successful. She's a trusted source of information.
Yep.
That's interesting. It's interesting for her. She needs to build her credibility, her trust equity, all that sort of stuff, so that she could put herself in a position to help advise other people in their investment strategy. And I think that is amazing.
It's fantastic.
We're trying.
Honestly, no, like every single point that we spoke about today, the value, the quality, it's longevity. And everything you've talked about, it's never been, there's a short route or anything. It's like everything that working now, is going to work in the future, because
and don't be closed-minded.
We hope we do everything we can. Everything we can. I've got a young guy who's ex-head of digital for Knight Frank and Countrywide, all these massive firms, and we built ADSR. And I said to Elliot, listen, it's going to be difficult for a number of years because we're building here. We're building ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Often when you build ahead of yourselves, people won't understand it. There's loads of friction. Why are you doing it? Why are you posting on YouTube? Right? Gradually, what you hope is if you get it right with foresight, and the world does go that way, what happens is the world meets you.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, you're there. Oh, you're a professional dancer and you're on YouTube. Oh, yeah, we would love your exposure. Thank you so much. And
like you get invited to these fantastic events and awards. So where were you at the OWO the other night, speaking about the global hospitality sort of side? Like you being a trusted source of income, they want your value.
Yes. They want the attention that I will deliver to that venue, to the OWO, which is an amazing building, and to the event and the people that share this stage with me, that I'm fortunate enough to share this stage with. I'm just some council estate kid. But don't forget that.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
That's what.
For 11 years. But people who know me as the kid who came from a family. You know, if you'd known me from like 13, 14, 15, when life got a bit easier for us, then I'm just like a normal kid, and I was privileged.
But I'd say
I was privileged because I had great parents.
You connect to that value of people, because a lot of the times, like you'll see sort of ultra net worth, like the different generations that have worked hard. That usually the older generation has come from nothing. They've done very well. They've created a business. They've sold it off, or they've kept it, or lots of land, whatever it may be. And the next generation maybe hasn't worked as hard, but are still willing to work hard. Like they're the ones that connect and hopefully pass that down.
If you do research on generational change of wealth, it's very interesting to see what happens.
It's a bit scary.
It's
like
a bit
third generation,
depending on which one
have lost
generation
it,
you are.
I think 30%.
And we're going to see a massive change, shift in wealth, and who's got the wealth now. Young people are going to have a massive shift in wealth, and who they trust to help them secure that wealth, invest it, whatever it may be. Super important. Everyone's chasing after that opportunity now.
Yeah.
All the banks, all the investors, they're all chasing after the opportunity of young people and what they're going to be bringing and their desires. All their marketing and everything now is becoming more contemporary, because you're going to have this massive shift in wealth to young people. So that's all going to change.
Yeah.
Because young people want different things to what their parents wanted and their great-grandparents and so on and so on.
That's very true in this day and
of
age.
course.
That really is.
Yeah, of course it is.
This conversation, so I could talk all day. I know we're going
I was
to
gonna say,
have
this
to
is
do
a good podcast,
another
this.
podcast in a year's
Yeah.
time.
Had a great
talking
chat
about
with
it.
you.
Love you guys.
When you get a DD building. I can't wait. I'm coming to it. I'll buy a place.
Amen.
Honestly, no. Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable you are and busy, and we've made it. We've made it happen. We've got there in the end.
Thank you.
Please, can you give a hand off to where people can find you? Obviously on social media, you're very prevalent there.
Yeah, so you can find me. My accounts are Daniel_Daggers, and you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter.
And it's DDRE and
Netflix.
Yes.
Netflix.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and the business is DDRE Global.
Yes.
So you can find us, and ADSR.ai. Oh my God, I can keep going.
I was going to say, all right,
All these acronyms just keep going.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, thank you so much. I've loved it. I'm doing a little stretch, as I always do at the end of the podcast. I've just realised
Our
Mitch is looking
cameraman,
at me.
Mitch.
I sit there for an hour still, and then suddenly I do a little like back breaking
At
stretch.
the end of it, he says, I know exactly when you're going to end it, because you do a stretch every time.
I love that. And now I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you very much. Plus, I want to try sell property now.
Yeah. Well. You do. Yeah. This is for off-camera conversation now.
Yeah.
We'll keep that private.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Thank you very much, guys, for
thank you.
listening. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody, and thank you so much, Daniel, for coming on and chatting with us.
Absolute
it's been
pleasure.
awesome.
Love what you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you, and love what you're doing as well.
Thanks.
You're at the
Pumped.
forefront.
I love these conversations.
Yeah. Let's have a good day now. Thanks for listening to the podcast. That was Freedom Impact Trust. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've loved chatting once again. Please leave a comment below, because it really helps the algorithm and helps get the podcast out there. And also, let us know if there's any financial questions which you want answering, and we can answer them in the pod next week. Like I said, share, like, comment, subscribe, and let everybody know about the podcast.
And thank you to our sponsors, FINT, the financial investment app, where you can invest from as little as £50 a month.
£50?
Yes, £50, Curse.
Oh, wow, it's an absolute bargain. And don't forget, it's through 3 different portfolios. So choose the one that you like and get investing.
Have a great day.
See you later, guys.